Huh? Well, hello, everyone. You can feel this pregnant pause. We're all excited and ready. Well, this is one of my favorite topics. My name is Deborah Giusti, and I've been coming to the expo since the beginning, since it was a whole life expo in the 80s. And I just love the growth and the expansion of all of us that are coming now. And especially this year, hasn't it been amazing? The energy, the people.
Only women. Now there are lots of men.
Woohoo! Exactly. The energy, the love, and the connection here has been so amazing. And we're here to talk about the planetary ascension and our personal ascension. And that's, again, one of my favorite topics. I've been hosting this panel for about 10 years. And it's always been an evolution to the next level every time I do it. And the teachers here and the Ascension practitioners have just been amazing. In 2020, the panel was all about, it's really going to have an accelerated ascension year. It was all about that. The astrology predicted it. Everything was spot on in February 2020. And a bunch of us went home with COVID because that began that level of what went on with the world, which I call a massive spiritual retreat. Because everyone in the globe had to stop doing, and start looking in the mirror and start looking in their heart. So it was a level of acceleration that happened at that time. And then if you've noticed, it's been a mass global healing where all the toxins come to the surface. Everything that's dysfunctional, everything that's been hidden, everything that we didn't see before is up for everyone to look at. And that's the healing crisis the planet is going through now. So we're in the purification phase. And as above, so below, guess what? It's happening to us too, if you haven't noticed. We're in a highly accelerated evolutionary phase, which we're calling Ascension. So in this process also, have you noticed that 2024 is going to be a huge year as well? We hear a lot going on, a lot moving forward. So we're going to explore that today. Let me define what we're calling Ascension, at least. I've studied with a lot of the Ascension teachers. Some of these are the highest, most experienced Ascension teachers on the planet. So you are very lucky to be with them today. But yes. So what we can call Ascension is the escalated evolutionary process that's taking place on the planet right now with all life forms. And that means us as well. That's why a lot of us came to the planet at this time. And it's a healing that we go through, of dense trauma, of limiting beliefs. We go through massive healing, alchemical transformation, and then we start to open up to multidimensional realms and another state of being, another level of being through all this healing and this process. What a lot of spiritual teachers call oneness, unity, consciousness, love. So this is what's happening on the planet now. And the planet is also going through it. The planet is going through different phases where it's accelerating. If you've noticed, the Schumann resonance is raising its vibration. That's another level of it. This has been predicted by many religions as the Golden Age, the Satyuga, the New Earth is coming. All of that's happening now. And I know you all resonate or you wouldn't be at this conference right now. And it's really accelerated to the level where it's showtime now, right? Everything's coming to a head. And we are the way showers. If you're here at this conference, you are so ahead of the masses. And I request that you take in this information and really embody it, but also share it and be teachers, because it's really all hands on deck at this point. People are finding their missions. People are moving forward. Now, as we look out in the world, it may look like everything is falling apart. You know, there's actually 22 wars on the planet. But again, this is the dysfunction that's coming out. But I testify that as much negativity and dysfunction on the planet, there is as much healing and consciousness raising and awakening that's happening on the planet. And that's what we're here to talk about now, is this level of awakening that we're all experiencing and really seeing this hope of this transformation that we're going to be going through. We're in the birth canal, so it looks a little dark, it looks a little scary, but we are in the birth canal, and these amazing teachers are going to share with us how we can understand and how we can navigate and how we're getting to the new earth. We're really going to be talking about the new earth, because that's what a lot of us came here to birth. And it's now that we're forming the templates and getting on the timelines that will take us there. So this is what I love to talk about. So let's just start with just a moment of gratitude for this amazing conference that we've been at all weekend. It's always great to start with gratitude, because that just magnifies everything we're going to receive. And feel the gratitude for all the teachers that came from all over to transmit their amazing information and experience. And the gratitude for the new soul family and the new friends that you've met on the same page as you, which is so beautiful. And gratitude that this information, this conference is going to ripple out and ripple out and ripple out and create a lot of healing and consciousness raising. And just gratitude for being right here, right now, to receive these amazing transmissions from these incredible luminaries. And feel the energy raise and our hearts open and connect. Thank you. So, I want to start out by figuring out what is going on. You know, like I said, 22 wars on the planet. You know, what's happening in Israel and Ukraine. I don't even want to say politics. You know, it looks like, you know, it's not really going well from one lens. And how do we see and get on a timeline and on the ascension process for ourselves personally and for humanity, because we're all in this process together. This is a time where humanity can evolve to the next level of the divine human together. That's why we all came. So I'd love to know from these incredible experts what is going on and how do we see this ascension process on the planet and within ourselves. I'd like to know too, like this AI thing. That's a little scary and poking its head up in our universe. And also, what does it mean when the human resonance is raising? All these shifts that we have now. And what is the galactic's role in all this? Because disclosure is happening, and they're definitely participating with us. So, I would like to start in this way with the Twin Ray. They are amazing ascension teachers that are here for the planet now, 24 hours to support the ascension process. Whatever it takes, they are here to do that. Shekinah Ma and Sananda Ji are the Twin Ray, one soul and two bodies, here to bless the earth and be luminaries and teachers. They're luminaries of love. They have a huge body of work in their Academy of Ascension Teachings. They have a retreat center up in Ashland, and they are evolving their teachings nonstop. And they're amazing. I love them so much. So can you help to define and explain what this process is and what's going on? Yes.
So, a little bit closer. So the Ascension. We see the Ascension as an external aspect and the Inscension as an internal aspect. That's basically the same process. So, starting with the greater sphere of influence, we're receiving massive waves of high frequency, this cosmic energy that's coming onto our planets. And essentially, the universal language is sound, vibration, and light. And it's really one and the same thing, but that goes on and creates a whole spectrum of frequency that goes on to create form. So the planetary body is adjusting. The entire energetic anatomy of our planet is rewiring itself. Through that rewiring, it's getting like an upgrade of its brain, like the neural processes are being linked and wired into a new arrangements. And it's also influencing our brains. It's influencing our hearts, it's influencing our own frequency. And this happens in cycles. So we're in multiple cycles, just like every day we wake up, we have a wake and sleep cycle. And we have seasons that we see the cycles of nature. And these cycles at a macro level is activating, we're in a 2,000 year cycle, which is the Aquarian age, many have claimed that. But also in a 12,000 year cycle, a 26,000 year cycle, a 216 million year cycle. There's all these massive cycles. What they're depicting is when we go into these galactic current sheets, we receive these powerful downloads of information and energy. And in an eternal level, as we receive this, our entire energetic system gets rewired. We start tuning into high dimensions. We start tuning in our radio receiver, whether it's our energy field, our pineal gland, our heart's torus field. We start adjusting, we start shifting into a different calibration of our reality. And so what we're seeing is this complete metamorphosis on the planets. The whole grid system's reshifting, and our internal circuitry is reshifting. Sort of there's these 5 stages that we call the sort of initiations that one goes through. And these are universal. First is purification. We purify ourselves, we purify our mind, we purify our hearts, we purify our life, purify the shadows by looking at them, going into them. And obviously everything's on a larger scale is being exposed right now. All the shadows are coming to light. We're seeing in real time the dysfunction with the narrative of the collective story. And the collective consciousness is coming up for healing. But that purification, that leads to transformation. As we see that transformation in ourselves, we see a transformed world around us. And so as we can cultivate this energy, because it brings up everything inside of us, brings up our triggers, it brings up our shadows, our conditioning, it brings it up. In order for us to alchemize that and purify it, and then transform ourselves, which then we transform our surroundings. And from that, we start actualizing more of our gifts. So during this time, it's also prophesied that a lot of our gifts, a lot of the revelations, a lot of the abilities like telekinesis, telepathy, our clairvoyancy start opening up. We become extra sensitive because we're tuning into these higher bandwidths of information, which are literally bringing our DNA online. And so as this is happening, we're actualizing why we actually came here. We remember we're more of a soul, more of a higher being that has this physical vessel. And as we start embodying more of who we truly are, we start realizing that divine purpose, the divine will, that we're all truly here to receive, remember, and follow, and embody. And through that, the next process of realization ultimately leads to liberation, where we free ourselves, where we free the collective karma, the collective story, the narratives that have suppressed us, the systems that we've given homage to in some sense, and also given permission to suppress us. We free those systems. And so what we're seeing is this dynamic shift from the inner state of coming into wholeness and all this creative revolution of seeing the wholeness in reimagining the world that we can create together. So we believe that all this dysfunction is happening to bring it all up for healing, but then we get to recreate it ourselves. We get to recreate and reimagine how we can actually live in this golden age, because the golden age is not going to happen by one being. It's going to happen through a collective awakening where we all have a piece of the puzzle that we can put together to create a masterpiece. But before then, we have to see what's not working so we can heal that inside of ourselves. So we're seeing that process more and more. And then when we come together in these times, we can do a transmission, we can do our healing, so then we can literally be that change that we want to re-imprint into the world.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Chikinama.
That was beautiful, love. Thank you. We've all heard of the word soul, but how many have heard of the word heart? The word soul, show of hands. The word soul is changing. And since we've been in what's called the Kali Yuga, which is an age of time, the Iron Age or the Age of Darkness, the word soul has not been complete. There are pieces and parts missing of the entire collective word soul. And through this period of time, as the new grids, which Sanandaji just spoke very briefly about, are coming online, these new grids we call the golden grids, right? Because we're birthing the golden age. And these golden grids are creating a new brain for the earth, a new brain for the world, and thus a new brain for the species on the planet. But it's not just the world soul that's changing, it's the world heart. And the pieces of the world heart that have been lost through warring, that have been lost through the inability to recognize the divinity in each other, in every blade of grass, in every flower, in every moment, really. That's coming back. That's becoming more apparent. And people are waking up. Why? Why do we have to wake up with such pain? Why do we wake up this way? There is a reason. Understand that warring countries are not just found within the countries. They are a macro representation of the micro that one goes through every day, every single day, with your family, with your co-workers, most importantly, with ourselves. When we look in the mirror and we see something about us that we don't like, and we want to smash that mirror, but yet what we don't always see is that the people around us are our greatest reflections. They are these incredible mirrors. And so when one projects onto another, when one disallows the true beauty, the true heart of the being to come out and be combined into one beating heart, then you want to smash those mirrors, and that's a lot easier than having to go deep inside. Right now, as these warring countries are taking place, 22 as you've shared, the darkness is coming to the surface of what has been a treacherous reality for this earth for a very, very long time. And most people have been completely unaware. The galactics, the cosmics, the celestials, which we represent, are here in order to birth this new world with you. It must come from within. This isn't a savior model where we're going to descend down and everything is going to shift. No, it has to happen within every single one of us. And this is what the Golden Age is about. It's about bringing the pieces together that have been lost, that have been left behind, that have been disregarded through time and space. And that's a big percentage of what's happening right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shekinah. Thank you. Yeah. And Maureen St. Germain, you heard the call to teach about Ascension a while ago. You were one of the first Ascension teachers out there. You have many best-selling books. You have a huge clientele that you work with. You travel all around. So you've seen it go from the beginning when people just starting to work up, like one little popcorn, pop, 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 and now what's happening now and where it's going. So how can you describe this process from your incredible vantage point?
Well, the first thing I want to say is, as I have been labeled the practical mystic, I want to give you some practical understanding of what your job is and what our job is as teachers. And that is, when one of my boys was sick with the flu, a little tiny baby, my doctor told me to buy acidophilus from the drugstore in capsules. And this goes way back. And I said, well, what will that do? And he said, put it on their food and give them so much that the population of the good bacteria, acidophilus, will outnumber the population of the bad bacteria that's giving the child diarrhea. So my metaphor for you is we collectively outnumber all the warring energy that's out there.
Yeah.
And the way we can antidote it is to stay in our hearts and to stay centered and allow love to flow through us and to co-create the world we want. So when we hear about things, whether it's a car accident or a war, both extremes, we can say a mental prayer for the families involved, for the medical community that's trying to support them, for those people who are suffering in any level because of what has happened, without taking sides, without judging what is really behind it. And in so doing, we become the antidote to this energy of war. And I agree with Twin Ray as they say, a lot of this is a reflection of who we are and the darkness we're eradicating from within ourselves. And the way to claim that for yourself and for the people around you is to use a simple phrase, I'm asking for a day of heaven on earth for me and everyone I'm in contact with and everyone I'm in contract with and everyone that's in conflict. And what that will do is call upon the support system that is here but unable to take all the steps possible without our using our free will to claim their help. So we have many tools, and each of us have discovered many, many tools. Everyone on this panel has tools for you. And it is my sincere desire that you use what you have learned and figure out one thing that you can do for yourself for the next 6 weeks to change your own reality and bring in heaven on earth.
Thank you, Maureen. It's true, there are millions of people waking up now all over the earth, and it is the critical tipping point that we're looking for to really shift things. And we can be catalysts for that. So thank you. And Asil, here's another magic man. He works with the Elohim. He heard his calling maybe 10 years ago and woke up and really me. And he's become an incredible channel and light worker and ascension teacher, Evolution 1. And he brings in very high energies, very high teachings. So he's definitely someone to study with. And so what are you hearing from all your sources of how to explain this incredible, intense period we're at and where we're going in 2024?
How censored do you want it?
None. No way.
No soft gloves for you? Well, it's going to be a tough ride. But we know it. That's why we're here. You're here also practicing an advanced soul in human form to support others through this awakening process. Of course it's going to be intense, because that's part of evolutionary processes that require that type of intensity to emerge into its next state of being. We are being birthed as a collective. And so, all of us, we came to make this birthing process happen. Now, of course, we have to give to ourselves the ascension process as well. And that requires purification and alignment and building capacity and understanding how we are creating our own reality every day and how we are co-creating reality with others and with the unprocessed elements of the collective unconscious. And as we dive deeper into these aspects of our being and bring it forth into our service to others, we may have a chance. But it doesn't matter, because the point is that we are doing it no matter what. That's why we're here. This year, the next 5 to 7 years will be complex, will be a bit of roller coasters. Polarities are rising, also for a reason, because the unprocessed elements of the past want to be processed as quickly as possible. And occasionally that requires a manifestation of the unprocessed to truly feel the severity of that which has to be processed. So can we observe that which has to be processed with a greater sense of compassion and love, with a greater sense of presence, and allow the realizations to emerge so that we can mature as individual souls and as a collective? That is one aspect of the ascension process of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. And in speaking about the commitment that this panel of luminaries has to be here for the Ascension, Vivian Chavez as a soul traveled very far. She is an Arcturian hybrid. She, along with her star family, made a plan for her to come embodied, her Arcturian soul to come embodied in a human body, so she could be here with us now and give us very high-level teachings of the Ascension, to be a guide. She works directly with her star family all the time, and she was actually conceived on the ships. And when I listen to her teachings, they are just high level and ring true for me, and we're so grateful that you came, Vivian. So what do you have to share with us, especially how the star families are connected with our Ascension process? And your Arcturian group has already been through the Ascension. You're our older coven that have been through it, and that's why you're here to help. So what can you share?
Absolutely, always a joy to be with you, Deborah, and everyone on the panel. So like Deborah mentioned, I am an Arcturian being, so I send out an Arcturian aspect of myself, or a soul aspect of myself in this human hybrid form. From our perspective, and when we say we, is that we represent a very ancient intergalactic civilizations. We have evolved over millions of years, so we know what we speak of. We understand the challenge, we understand the reconciliation, we understand the process. Through our perspective, we perceive ascension more into a re-ascension aspect. You're simply remembering the pathway that is encoded in you, and especially right in the blueprint of your being and in your DNA template that is evolving. you're starting to remembering more. So you're shifting out of the deep forgetfulness time that's been put in place for thousands of years, for generations. You're starting to understand that you are non-linear, that there's much more to you. There's a rising of desire in you to be more of service, to contribute more, whether it's through healing, whether it's through support system, whether it's as an anchor of light on the planet, whether it's with the animal kingdom. Remember, we all guardians. And so we see is that a remembrance of the pathway that you once had a long, long time ago, even beyond Lemuria. And then you're finally returning into that sacred realignment. So we call that a reascension. It's a grand return, which is why there's so many ancient beings who return into a soul emanation or a fractal of their beautiful higher aspect of their beings and reintegrate them into a human form. So like myself, I chose to go this way to learn the ABCs, to understand the pathway, to develop a greater sense of empathic response in regards to what human beings are going through, and to understand how a celestial being that you call the Earth, or Mother Terra, what is she's also the birthing process of her returning into her original form. So all of these remind all of you that truly you are in symbiotic connections with an entire planet and a multitude of sentient life form that is evolving here. So that means the mineral kingdom, all the elementals, all the planet resources, each other, with the animals and every life. So you're returning to understand the profound reverence for all life. So what we bring is a anchor, future example of yourself. So we're simply helping you to remember it, to reactivate, to embody and reclaim that is what is your birthright. So again, it's a return to the pathway, and more of frequencies returning stronger to the planet. This is why there's so much energy around Arcturians right now. That's because finally the collective consciousness on the planet has reached a level of awareness, plus the grid system of Gaia is also more evolving, so we can hold and bring the frequency that is necessary, like a little push, like a catalyst if you want, into helping you into the next 3 years, especially the next 3 years, which we call the triple gateways of life. There's going to be more beyond the 3 years, but just the next 3 years, 24, 25, and 26 are extremely important. You are finally reaching that point that so many of you have prepared for generations, so many generations of star seeds, ancient ones being returned to the planet to anchor the soul group codes for each group. And then finally we have reached that point where you are entering that triple gateway as we quantify time that's going to push the planet into the return into her reascended self. So she's returning into a more natural point, and she's inviting all of you to follow her. So it really is an invitation. It's a remembrance. It's a re-embodying. It's to accepting that there's so much more to you, and you're able to have a direct impact on what realities or layers of realities gonna feel like to you. So it can be hard, it can be light as a feather, or it can be a blend of energetic movement that is more fluid and more harmonious. It's really up to you, but we're here to supporting you in that evolution process.
Thank you, Vivian. That was beautiful. It's a clear understanding. Ishmael, you're another one of those incredible luminaries that just came out on the scene. And we see you everywhere on YouTube. You're just tirelessly giving your information that you've prepared to do a whole lifetime. Yeah. All right. And you have truly a very high cosmic perspective. with what you've studied, your transmissions, and what you know and what you teach us. So what can you tell us about these times, where we're going, and especially these years and the next coming years?
It is an absolute pleasure to be here with all of the greatest, most powerful luminaries that I've taken the call at this time. Thank you, Deborah. To me, ascension is initiation. When you think of how we live in a conscious, sentient creation, where everything is alive, all the way up to the universe itself, and including the omniverse, which is the biggest sentient being that exists. Everything is in a steady process of progression and evolution. And I've come to the understanding that the Earth, just like many other planets, also goes through her own phases of evolution. Now, due to the fact that civilizations have been here for millions upon millions upon millions of years, the Earth has actually undergone many cycles of descent and ascent. And we hear about this when we study the ancient civilizations, the root races that existed millions of years ago. Even those that preceded Atlantis. Atlantis was one of a rather new coming civilization. And it is my understanding that due to the synchronization of cycles, the Earth is now on a steady upward evolution where she is back to her original glory. And that So we are not only just living in the greatest times ever to exist on Earth, but we're also living in the greatest times ever in the entire history of the Omniverse. As a cosmic ambassador, I had an opportunity to access many intergalactic records, and one of the things that I've studied in my journey to knowledge, as I continue to learn, I am a forever student on the path of enlightenment and illumination, like everyone else here. As much as I like to teach, I like to learn. I always keep my cup empty because there's always more to learn as we gather more information from the infinite mind of Prime Creator Source. And one of the things that I came to understand is that throughout all of cosmic history, within the last cycle period of 998 billion years, through the descent of eternity into matter, or what we call the simulations, there has been a constant struggle with the inorganic timelines. And what is the inorganic timelines? The inorganic timelines, also known as the phantom matrix, were actually generated and produced by fallen entities that have lost their connection to source, and as a result of that, have aligned and integrated with artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, throughout the history of the cosmos, many civilizations have been destroyed at the fate of artificial intelligence. When there is no soul, when there is no emotion in the being, there is no connection to the one infinite creator. And it is my understanding that because we are at the last of the cycles, the Earth has undergone a 25,000 year cycle 5,200 times. That's how long civilizations have been here. We don't have any recollection, but I could guarantee you that each and every single one of you has been here for millions of years. We are at the point where the current reality construct that was created by an intergalactic computer network that was inserted by the fallen Anunnaki is now coming to an end in 2030. So as I speak right now, there are two coexisting parallel Earth realities. We have the old third-dimensional Earth reality, which is the old paradigm, which explains why everything's coming to the surface and why everything that we're experiencing in the external reality seems like it's boiling up to chaos. However, as I speak, there is also the new Earth, which is really not the new Earth, but really the old Earth that existed prior to the decline of Mother Gaia into the lower octaves. See, we were once part of an advanced civilization that went back to 560 million years ago. If you guys want to know the true origin, we are angelic humans. And we existed on planet Earth during those days. And we're returning to that. So the new earth is really an earth that has always been here, but it has been, you could say, covered by the layers of this falling reality construct that comes to an end in 2030. So the new earth that has been vibrating due to the incoming cosmic energies that you are all bringing in as anchor points, thanks to all of you, will be fully in effect, as they said, in the next 7 years. That's going to be the hardest climax ever to experience of the earth. But for those that are resonating with this original earth known as Terra, which is earth existing in dimensions 4, 5, and 6, we're automatically going to be translating from one level of reality as the old current construct comes to an end into the original paradise that the earth was, known as Terra. And to me, Ascension means initiation. We are not only experiencing initiation on a personal level, but we're also experiencing it on a planetary level, galactic level, universal level, and cosmic level. So it's multi-layered. It's not just the Earth ascending. It is the entire local universe that we belong to, as well as the entire omniverse, as we complete and finish the cosmic cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishmael. And he shares a lot of very revolutionary information on AI that you can see on his YouTube channel that you should all tune into for another perspective. And Sarah, welcome. So great to have you. She had another workshop across the hall, so she was a little bit late. So Sarah's amazing. She's a Dolores Cannon protege and has used her work to really understand a lot of what's going on in past history and what's coming up in the future. So she's been privy to a lot of information. So as you can see, we're answering the question of what's happening now with this ascension process, all the challenges happening and where we're going.
Thank you guys so much. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me on this panel. What an honor. What amazing people here. Gosh. And I love this discussion. And I have to agree with what I heard Ishmael say. I believe this is a process of initiation, because ultimately what it seems like, or what I find from my clients under hypnosis, is that everything comes from within ourselves. So ultimately, the ascension is happening on an internal level. What we're doing when we're doing this shadow work, or we're diving into ourselves, is affecting our ascension process. If you think about it, you are the creator of your bubble of reality. It really is being rendered by what you're processing through your mind, through your pineal gland, and it's rendering your reality. But your reality might be different than somebody else's reality. But what is happening is, when you're curious about the universe is a reflection of you, because you're basically generating it, and it gets curious about you, causing this initiation process. And as you keep exploring, you start to learn things about your reality. You start to become lighter and lighter in your density. And it's really interesting, because the different timelines of the future of the ascension seems like, or according to my hypnosis subjects, that it's very different from person to person. But the most, in general, future timelines seem to be that everybody right now seems to have different timelines according to what they deep down believe, what their deep belief system is. But we're headed towards what the higher consciousness of my clients keeps calling a merging nexus point. And when we come into that nexus point, then we have 3 timelines, is what they keep saying through my clients. And when there's 3 timelines, these timelines are 3 distinct timelines, where there's the highest one, where all of a sudden we get help from all these different beings or other versions of ourselves ultimately. We clean up our oceans, we start teaching our children about consciousness. It's so beautiful. It's what you hear about when everyone's talking about the ascension. Gosh, I really hope I'm on that timeline. It sounds amazing. Then there's the middle timeline that seems to go down the same trajectory as the grays, where they eventually go too far with their technology, they lose their planet, and they have to then jump universes to find another version of themselves. Then the very lowest timeline ends after the nexus point. That's part of the contract. It doesn't continue. But light workers are strategically placed throughout the middle timeline to help shift the perspective of the people in the middle timeline to help bump them up to the highest timeline. And that seems to be the most likely future potential. And what's interesting is I keep asking about this nexus point. What is happening? What is going to happen? And of course, they'll never really tell you, right? They'll never really tell you because the future is yet to unfold. But one of the potentials of the future nexus point is if the tail of the comet goes in front of the sun, it will trigger like a solar flash. And if that happens, the higher self always considers this a toroidal field. The veil will fall and we'll be able to see into so many different dimensions. And that's going to cause the nexus point. And then the timelines will emerge. But what we're facing right now is so unique because essentially, if you think about the universe is within you, we have this opportunity for this huge expansion and growth. And there's other versions of ourselves which consider this an experiment. They want to see what we're going to do because humans have unlimited potential due to their emotional body. So they want to see how humans can go from being so low in their vibration to evolve their consciousness like this. And when they do that, that's going to teach a whole galaxy, or whatever you want to call it, of ourselves in these other realms, and that will help the whole universe make another evolutionary turn. So they consider this an experiment, but also the ones doing the experiment themselves, if that makes sense. So what I find really interesting is that these are really exciting times that have been foretold about, and it seems like we are right on track, according to higher self, that we're right on track for this to happen. So it's exciting to me.
Thank you, Sarah. And yeah, we're talking about the higher timeline. Like, how do we bounce up to the higher timeline, and where is it going to go? Because we know all the negative stuff that's happening, and I want to bring hope into the room, and vision, and passion, and excitement about what we're here to create, that we're calling the new earth. So I'd love to tap into these luminaries and really get a picture of what this new earth is going to be about, what it is about, because we're all beginning to create it now. And I believe if we all come forward with our missions and start to create the templates, as well as go through the ascension process, we are going to be manifesting the new earth. So I'd like to inspire those templates now to understand, what is it going to be like? What is the world going to be like? Is there new technologies? Is there a new government system? What is our consciousness going to be like? Like, are we going to be in Christ consciousness, 5D, unity consciousness the whole time? Is that where we're headed? And what the world is going to be like? And what is it going to be like existing in full consciousness, full higher consciousness together? And the love vibration being the bottom line of what this new earth is about. So, and also at the end here, we are going to do an activation together. If you can imagine having all these incredible beings in prayer and activation together. So I want to request you keep your your answers brief, 3 to 4 minutes, 3 minutes, so we can have a really juicy time for an activation at the end. Yes. But I want to get excited. I want to know what my part is and what the new earth is going to be like. What are we working towards? What is this high timeline going to lead us to? Sanandaji.
Okay, so there's some vital information for everyone to know about 2024. This is the year when the sun, our sun, goes through a pole shift. Every 11 to 12 years, the sun goes through a pole shift. The last time this happened was in 2013, just after 2012, when the whole Mayan calendar went through a shift and ended and a new cycle began. What does this really mean? This is like a solar Kundalini activation. And so what happens is when a sun goes through a pole shift, the north and south node flip over. And there's an implosion point in the center of the sun where the toroidal field basically centralizes into the sun and then reverses its magnetics. Now, this is also the ascension process of us. When we reverse our magnetic shift of how we're anchored on this planet, we actually connect more to our cosmic source. Our Earth goes through this process as well, every hundreds of thousands of years. It's going through a minor reversal grid shift at the North Pole right now. Why this is important is because through this year, we're going to receive such plasmic energy, massive waves of solar ejections and this photonic light that's going to pour into our planets. Now, it's what we do with that helps us adjust to this timeline that everyone's speaking about. When we speak of the Golden Age, we think of this something happening in the future. We're thinking something's going to happen, there's an event of some scale, and then we're going to start building temples, there's going to be a revolution of technology, and all of that's going to happen somewhere in the future. But in actual fact, it's happening already, simultaneously. And all we have to do is shift our attunement to that frequency and embody that. And that is a process of actually raising your vibration, which is a simple term of actually raising and cultivating your bioelectromagnetism. When you do that, you become this magnetic charge. You pull in and you actually start activating these crystals inside your body. You activate crystals in your nervous system, you activate crystals in the pineal complex, the piezo crystals in your pineal gland that acts as a radio receiver so you can actually tune in and control what dimension you're operating in. All of these gifts start happening when you actually start cultivating. So sadhana is so important. Sadhana means sacred practice. Do your meditation, do your cultivation, start your day with gratitude, do prayers. Do it really simple until you start opening up until higher evolved layers and levels of light cultivation. But there is a reality that is already existing in that golden age. And all we have to do is flick that switch on inside of our hearts, which is activated by love, by universal unconditional love. And we start actually pulling that towards us. We start materializing that around us. So this year, it's so powerful because we have a pole reverse with our sun. And this cycle activates our own cultivation where we can actually go through an illumination where we activate our own light bodies at a greater degree as well. So just want to emphasize the importance of 2012 as it closed the cycle, and then 12 years later, 2024 is when we're actually opening up that new potential to really anchor in the golden age inside of each one of us.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Akina Ma.
Okay. Imagine a world that's collaborative, co-creative, where there is enough life force running through our bodies, running through our heart. Hello. It's working? Running through our hearts. Enough life force that is creating the ability to have a coherent heart and mind connection where you're able to utilize the power of your body, the power of your mind completely to be able to work through reality, to be able to control and command particles, to be able to understand the creative presence and nature within creation itself. Imagine a world where temples are erected and structures are built in order to hold and host the foundational ancient wisdoms of the earth that then connect with the cosmic forces and the alignments of why you've come here. Imagine a world where humans communicate through great kindness and compassion together, where where the virtues of the heart and the virtues of action are not just spoken, but they are in fact enacted every day with every breath that we take. Imagine a world where we are celebrating the triumphant presence of what we've all been through to get to where we got to, where we celebrated life and honored the livingness of all existence, not from a space of separation, but from a space of such deep unity inside that you could feel the beating heart, that you could sense the thoughts of one next to you. Imagine a world that is luminous in its presence of nature. Even though nature is luminous now, imagine it even more illuminated. Imagine colors that you haven't yet seen. Imagine a world that is the glory of what Earth once was, and the beings on it connected to such a level that can never be disconnected ever again. The perception right now is the belief that there is a separation of God Himself. In this age that we are speaking of, there will be no perception of that any longer. There will be such a deep connection and love within all things that it will be the life force that initiates and ignites all momentum and movement forward. We believe that we know that we have come to bring this with every breath, with every transmission, with every moment that we get to be honored enough to communicate to you. And we know that you are also here to transmit that love to everyone that you come into contact with. And just like Maureen said earlier, make it your intention, make it your mantra to wish for peace every single day. One day of peace, one day of love for you, for everyone around you, and for the all. And if everybody does that, truly, with the entirety of your heart and being, you will see it come to fruition in reality. You will see the reality, the timelines coming into emergence where the frequency rises so high within you that you create that reality that is the highest timeline reality every day. We believe in this world. We know this world so deeply. We know that you do as well because you have come from it. We all have. Thank you.
Wow. How does that sound? Yes. Thank you, Shekinah Ma. Maureen, so you make a specialty of talking about this new earth.
Well, I love what the Trinway has offered to us, and I have a number of things that I can share with you. We're already acting as if we're in the Ascension, the fifth dimension, the environment of unconditional love and trust. And to prove it, when you go in the airport, there's lots of stores now that'll trust you to check yourself out. And the clerks in the grocery store are no longer watching to see if you're stealing, they're watching to see if you need help. And that's a small snippet to help you grok, what does it mean when we're so honest and so sincere and so supportive of one another that we don't need to feel like there's not enough. And one of the things that came through me was the 5D Merkaba, which does flip the polarity. And so that's one of the things that are on the app that I created. And the app is called Illuminate. And the other thing that goes along with this work that Twin Ray has told us about is the idea that we take responsibility for our own foibles. And by doing so, we create opportunity for ourselves to be even higher. The hardest thing in the world is to let go of something that you thought you needed or something that you trusted would be there for you. And when you discover it's no longer there, for at least a brief moment, there's a part of you that is terrified. And so I invite you to remember how much you are loved and to say to yourself, "Dear God, show me how much I am loved." And when you're really scared and something happens, you get a bill that you weren't expecting or a crisis that occurs, and you think to yourself, I don't know how I'm going to solve this. Then follow it with, well, my higher self, my God connection must know more than I do, because there's a solution, otherwise it wouldn't have landed in my lap.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, Maureen. And Asil, what light do you have to shed on this topic of envisioning the new earth?
The picture I want to paint for you is the picture of you, your being, your life, your existence in the moment. If you close your eyes and you feel at peace with yourself and in the moment, you feel at peace with the relationships you hold, you feel the connection to the earth beneath you, the air around you, and the higher realms of existence. If you feel your heart full and expanded, open and loving, if you look at the future as an unwritten aspect of reality, if you look at the past as a collection of experiences that have served their purpose, if you are truly present in the moment, then you are in a very good place. And from that place, we start to expand our abilities to become conscious creators, to create a reality of our own as a collective. Not just purely from a place of our individualized agendas, desires, and wants, but a collective creation of a new existence. And what will this collective of conscious creators establish, create? What will we imagine that is beyond our current imagination? What structures of communication, of love, of coexistence will we establish? What type of creations will we bring to life? Yet it starts all with that moment, and this moment is now. And if we are not in that place of alignment, we do everything we can to get into that place of alignment. We seek support from fellow humans. We seek support from higher realms. We seek support from the earth, its elementals, and its ecosystems. We receive the support that we need to get into that deep present moment. And from that place, we become conscious creators of whatever we want. Thank you.
Thank you. Conscious creators, very important point. Thank you, Asil. And Vivian, you don't have to imagine or vision, because you know.
Yeah, the living embodiment. Well, I'd like to share with you an experience, a situation I just went through a few weeks ago, which I think will illustrate very well the potential. So, I was at an event in Scottsdale, Arizona, an event, and I was there to support my husband, Peter Benson, with his opportunity to expand his energy tools. So it's someone he follows online, and they were having an event, a beautiful venue. So picture this place, almost like a paradise garden with a pool and fountain and green grass, majestic trees, blue sky. It was wonderful. So the event was more around survival, how to prepare for catastrophe. So imagine me as a nocturne being walking in that crowd with love. I became an observer. So what I did is that I couldn't stay in the same frequency field that the event was creating because it was so condensing into three-dimensional fear-based energy. And are you going to be running out of water? Are you going to, stack up on food? And I kind of smiled at the paradox that I found myself in. But our parents were great at solving paradoxes, I can tell you that. And so, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need higher answer. So what do? Is I sit on the lawn, I put my face to the sun, and I project my essence, my conscious essence, directly into the portal of the sun. I ask for the assistance of the Solar Council. So ask and you shall receive. So there was this beautiful solar being who came, and the solar being says, I am formless, but because through your memory field, you're very fond of your Arcturian form, I shall take a form that is similar to you. And so the being stood on my left side, very tall, lanky like we are, but emanating the solar energies. And so we went back to the solar system, and I saw the blue pearl, as we call Mother Terra, we call it the blue pearl. And I saw Mother Terra, and I saw another version of herself. And so the solar being said, look, and it showed me that the three-dimensional aspect of the earth, as you call her, it's simply dissolving into a higher octave of light. So it was dissolving into millions of fractals of light. And that shift in substance and fractal of energy, it's also leading the way to the other aspect of the earth, what we call the new earth, is truly said, like Ismail said, just a true version of herself. So the solar being said, the soul group on the planet that is very fond of the third dimensional frequency and going to need to continue evolving in the same similar frequency will be allowed to follow the third dimensional earth because it is still considered as evolution. Those souls just need a little bit more cycle to evolve to the next octaves, and it will be simply redirected. This is why they feel the need to prepare themselves for that scenario. However, the vast majority of the soul on the planet will simply shift paradigm and move into the new fifth dimensional and beyond ascended version of the earth that you call the new version. And that is also considered as evolution. So either way, there's no soul lost. No one is perishing. No one is being trapped. What the solar being is showing me is that whatever is best for the soul evolution will be allowed, but everything is in constant state of evolution and expansion. And eventually, that soul group, it can be thousands or millions of people, it doesn't matter. The soul group that is preparing themselves because they're convinced of what this three-dimensional matrix reality is going to look like, well, they will be simply allowed to experience that reality on a version of an earth that is familiar to them, where the vast majority of us will simply shift into the next level of higher fractal of expression. But that's exactly what the solar being showed me, and I saw it. I witnessed what the being told me. So I thank the being and the solar council with love and gratitude. I was brought back to my body, back to the lawn, where the hosts of the event still babbling about survival and preparing for water. And I just smiled and I said, thank you. And then the being said one more thing, put a hand on my shoulder, and it said, you are on the right path, continue. And I came back and I said, I rest my case, Your Honor. And I returned to the lawn, smiling at my husband, making connection, helping people to evolve. And still this big talk was going on. So at the end, the organizer Kim says, "How was your event?" I saw very lightning.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you for explaining that, because we've all heard that from various teachers, and that is definitely a part of what's happening. So thank you so much. Ishmael, okay.
So, we are consciousness, as all of you know. And because we are consciousness, we have the opportunity to experience multi-layered realities on many different levels of existence. To me, what's happening here on this planet, as we exist in the lowest frequency, is that we're all undergoing integration. We're all integrating different aspects of ourselves that exist on different parallel Earth realities. As I speak right now, there are an infinite number of Earths that are coexisting, and you are all there on different versions of different lifestyles, believe it or not. So as this metaverse conversion takes place, which is the integration of our multidimensional consciousness, we're going to be collapsing every version of ourselves into one permanent timeline. And in order to do so, we have to be anchored, or we have to be heart-centered, because the heart is also the central sun within our body, as we are also toroidal fields, just like every living sphere. And when we begin the integration process through our spiritual work, we start coming to the understanding that there is really just one infinite consciousness. And that is what we are. We're different fractals experiencing the oneness, or different variations of the oneness. And as we come to the understanding that there is no separation, we all align to the principles of the Christ, which is unification. And when we are all aligned within the principles of the Christ, which is unification, there is no more duality. There is no more polarity. There is no more evil or good. For that in itself is also a universal game, because it's only explored and experienced in the lower dimensions. And even the Earth has different versions of herself, just like we do. You know, we're not just going to be ascending into a fifth dimensional reality, but because of the fact that this Earth has the capacity to evolve into her multiple versions, all the way up to the Sophia Earth, which Earth is in the 12th dimension, some of us, by choice and by resonance, are going to have the ability to ascend to the 12th dimensional Aramatena Earth, where we all descended from. So of course, you know, we think that we're just going into the fifth dimension, but as the 12 stargates begin to open, due to this alignment, this multiverse alignment that's about to take place, some of us are going to have the ability to go into the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional Earth, where she is known as Gaia. And then some of us are going to be going all the way to the 10, 11, and 12th dimension. And to me, that is an opportunity that only comes once every 998 billion years. So this is amazing to be here at this time, and I just want to thank everyone for taking the call, for coming.
Thank you, Ishmael. And Sarah, I think Dolores was one of the visionaries that coined the New Earth phrase and got it so known. So I'm sure there's a lot of information that you've pulled in and that you've learned from Dolores. So.
Oh, definitely. And what I find really fascinating is when I ask these other versions of ourselves, or what you would consider extraterrestrials, other versions of ourselves that have become fully or more enlightened than we are in this version of ourselves. How did they achieve that? What did they do? Why are they so enlightened? And they said, what they did is over the millennia, they understood and they fully understood and knew that they were source. And so that is what we're doing. We come here full of forgetfulness to remember again that we are source. But just imagine if you not only just believed it, but if you really knew and there was no resistance to your knowing that you're source, what would you create? What would you do? That's our opportunity, because we are coming back into that remembrance. What kind of abilities would you have? What would you do with these abilities? Would you be able to heal yourself? Those are the things we're going to start remembering. But how do we do this? How do we enter into this timeline? Well, the higher self has said, become aware of the subtle layers, the subtle energies. They say it's already here. We just don't know how to do it yet. We have to learn, basically baby steps. And we have to learn about these subtle energies, how to use our emotional bodies, because our emotions are the gateway through the universe. And by working on ourselves, releasing these traumas, we become lighter and lighter. When we take in less violence even, we become lighter. When we start to work on our physical bodies, our vessel, we become lighter. And then we start to ascend into like a lighter density. And we become almost like more like spirit. And it's really fascinating, because we're headed in that direction to be less physical. But even just focusing on your body right now, you can feel how much weighs you down, like energetically, your worries. Imagine if you didn't have that, if you didn't have those worries, and you were more believing and trusting in who you really were and how powerful you are. That's what we're going into, where we're really embodying ourselves, which is source. And what it will look like is whatever you want it to look like.
Thank you, Sarah. Beautiful. So one more question before we get to do the activation prayer. And so how do we get there? What is the most important tip that you can give us for right here, right now, to be in the process of this complete transmutation that we're all going through? What is the most important thing that we can focus on? And there's many things, but what is what you would like to share? So Nandaji.
How do we experience Christ consciousness 24/7? Who would like to know that? Show your hand if you really want to know. Okay. The good news is that you're all Christ beings, and so we just have to switch to flip the switch, so to speak. And that's inside your hearts. Now, how do we do this? I'm going to share two simple ways. One way is that the earth is actually helping right now. At the end of this year is a year of prophecy, and there's 12 universal prophecies that are coming into completion at the end of this year. And what they're all speaking about is that the grids are going to fire and wire, and a whole new grid system is going to come online. And that means if we go to these specific sacred sites or highly coherent areas and we meditate, we get switched on ourselves. It's going to entrain our brain, it's going to entrain our hearts, and we're going to actually open up our inner circuitry system so we can cultivate more lights and open the biocircuitries. Now, how do we do that by ourselves? We have to use our spine. Our spine is the access point that connects us to the center of the universe. And so we have to make sure we're aware of our spine. And when we breathe through our spine, when we have any blocks in our spine, when we breathe through that, we allow the emotion to open up and come out of us. And we must process that emotion, because every record that we've ever experienced on any soul incarnation is routed into your spine. And you hold your living record. So if you want to read your records, you want to understand who you are in any incarnation, you just have to tap in to the energy circuitry of your spine. So a simple breath is just breathing up your spine, visualizing the sun above your heads, and then breathing down your spine and connecting into the earth. and just breathing up and down. This will change your life. It's so simple, it's so powerful, but it will change your life because of what it's going to do is ionize the cerebral spinal fluid in your body. When you ionize the cerebral spinal fluid, everything's in your body is surrounded by the cerebral spinal fluid in your nervous system. That is going to create a conduction of electricity. And as that happens, the biochemistry starts upregulating and you start tuning in to your pineal gland, and your field starts tapping in to higher realities, higher spheres. So you then can control how you're operating in your life. And all it's doing is regulating your breath to create coherence. So it's a very simple process. Or go to powerful sites, or be in powerful containers with master teachers that are actually transmitting that frequencies that you get upgraded to through harmonic induction. It's really that simple. It's the heart. And when you activate that, how you experience unity consciousness or Christ consciousness is you no longer see through your eyes, you see through the field. So your experience just right now, and I'll end on this, but if you were to look around right now, you see object and subject, you see someone or you see something, you have a story about it. But if you were to dissolve that and you just saw through empty space, if you were to perceive through empty space right now, that empty space allows you to see in every direction simultaneously, beyond time and beyond matter and beyond space. That is unity consciousness. And the good news is you're already doing it, and the earth is literally coming online to help you all achieve that. And as it comes online, it's going to bring everything up that you've taught yourself or you've learned somehow, somewhere, that you're not who you truly are. But when you see through that, and you overcome that, you rest in the love that you truly are.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a gift. And I forgot to mention, keep it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so we have time for the activation. Shekinah Ma.
Well, now that Sunandaji shared the internal alchemical process, I'm just going to say the answer is to believe. We must believe in the world that we want to create. We must, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter what you hear, you must believe that it is possible. You must want to let your love be greater than your fear in every moment you take breath. And so I say, believe.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Maureen, you have many, many tips, but pull one out of the bag.
I'd really like to tag on to what Twin Ray said, and an easy way to activate and clean your pranic tube to make it possible to achieve what he is talking about is to do the chant El, Ka, Leem, Om. Ideally, you would sing it. I did create a meditation so that you can sing along, but you don't need that. You can sing it in any way you wish. El stands for earth. Ka stands for fire. Leem stands for earth, air, fire, fire. And Om stands for air. This is the Hathor chant of earth, air, fire, and water. And as he alluded to, it connects us with the planet and the elements. Now, what this does for you, an easy way to remember it, because I asked the Hathors, give me an easy way to remember this. And they said, see yourself approaching the Hawaiian mountain, then see the fire coming out, then see the rain dousing the fire, and then see the air blowing away all the smoke. So this little chant is very, very powerful. And in addition, when you meditate, wear an eye mask. it will be so much easier to eliminate those distractions artificially till you can do it without that help. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, Vivian.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Ah, dear human beings. You have so much in you, and yet you think you are those little grain of salt or grain of sand figuring things out. We love you so much. I will piggyback on my lecture I gave earlier, so I'm going to give you another way that is also very empowering in addition to everything you've received so far. You talk about the universal time matrix. The universal time matrix looks like the greatest universal tree of all life. So imagining that you are activating consciously your inner universal tree of all life. Starting with your roots, you can utilize the Earth Star Chakra, which is the first point of the universal connection. It's right below your root, between your knees. You're connecting and you feel that I'm going to bring nourishment, healing, restoration, love through my roots. You can feel the roots of your universal time matrix or the universal tree of life. And through the Nuclear system of Mother Gaia, you're connecting your roots to all of your ancestors, both galactic, intergalactic, celestial, cosmic, the lineage that you have taken on in this lifetime. And you bring all the clearing, the strengthening, to feel your roots are strong, powerful, restore their original blueprint. And you move through your roots up to your body, up to your legs, to feel that you're moving to the trunk of your universal tree of life. And we too work with the spinal column, so we do agree to bring in the connections, moving up to the spine, opening all the nerve endings, to feel that your entire body structure is nourished, sustained, strengthening, purified, and also return to its original divine blueprint. And you bring it up to your heart, the thymus chakra, which is the higher heart, the center for your enlightenment. And let your universal tree of life expanding well beyond your crown, imagining infinite branches of connection that also nourish you on a cosmic universal level, connecting with your star families, all of your soul ancestry, and embracing the unity consciousness of your universal time matrix within you, that brings you back into complete reunification, knowing that you are in oneness with all aspects of soul expression on the multidimensional level, on a holographic level, and all there is. And feel the strength of your inner universal tree of life, also known as the universal matrix. And feel how much you can utilize it. Bring your roots, expand your branches. Know that you are this very empowered universal tree of all life, of all there is. Simple and yet very empowering.
Yes, thank you. Smile.
I would like to expand on what Vivian said and Shekinah Ma as well. This universal matrix, this tree of life, which binds and permeates all existence, is what scientists call the quantum field, when you think about it. They use different terminologies to describe the same phenomena as the ancient mystics did. So one of the things that I like to do to connect with y'all is to first come to the understanding and believe, like Shekinah Ma said, you have to believe. Look, belief is everything, guys. Belief is at the core of all creation. First, you have to believe that you're not just this individualized unit of consciousness, but that you are a fractal of the all. And by doing so, you take your mind from this skull that is only 3 to 5 inches wide or in length, and you merge yourself with the real mind, which is the quantum field. And then what you do is, as a spherical being, right, through the Antakarana, which is the vertical chakra system, you align yourself with the central sun of the galaxy. And you merge yourself with the mind or the logos, which is the galactic logos. And then furthermore, you could take that and expand it to the great central sun of the local universe. And if you really want to connect with everything that is beyond the spectrum of the local universe, then what you do is you just take that and you expand it to the mother central sun of the universe. And the more you begin to do that, the more you are able to effectively manipulate and consciously co-create with the quantum field. There are many terminologies to describe this non-local mind. And that's what we truly are. We just have to remember that we are not these individual personalities, but that we are everything that is. We are the earth, we are the elements, we are the stars, we are the universe. And that's one way in which I connect and stay centered. And also at the same time, it helps me anchor in more of the source conscious energy to integrate it and anchor it here on planet Earth when I do connect with the central sun as one universal time matrix. But belief is everything, guys. Belief is what changes reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismael. Sarah.
I agree, belief is everything. And since this is an eternal shift, like internal shift, shifting our perspective and learning to love ourselves, I believe is one of the best things we can do to shift. So we can start by figuring out what's in the way of our true, deep love for ourselves. What is in the way? Why do we not believe we're worthy? What kind of lies have we believed about ourselves? Because we're all worthy. We should all learn to love ourselves. Learning to love yourself is the easiest way to start ascending, to start gaining more power over yourself. It starts with loving ourselves. But there's also little tips that the higher consciousness will say. And one of those ways is to really fully connect with nature, to develop a relationship with your natural environment. Because the consciousness of nature is calling us to do that. When we connect with the nature around us, it responds to us. You'll see how it starts to give us clues and tools and information, and even remedies will grow near you when you start connecting with it. Even things that you think are just weeds will be something that helps you in some way. It's not a weed. Connecting with nature right now is so incredibly powerful. And using the sun is a portal. I started to understand this when I had a client that couldn't lose weight, and she wanted to know why she couldn't lose weight. And under hypnosis, her higher self said she needed to go out into the sun to get unfiltered sunlight just a little bit each day, but without her contacts. And she never did that. She never took her contacts out. And they said every human right now needs a little bit of unfiltered sunlight, because what is happening right now is information is being broadcast through the portal of the sun. It goes straight through our unfiltered eyes into our pineal gland, and it's activating us for this ascension process. So if you can do that, that's huge. If you can connect with nature, that's huge. And all these simple techniques and tools, they're huge. Like putting your feet on the ground, that's such a huge thing you can do for yourself. And I find most importantly, learning to accept yourself. learning to shift whatever it is that's dense within yourself is the best thing we can do right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. So we did really well, and we're going to have about 25 minutes to go into this next process. So you're still going to receive information, but we're going to get out of our heads and get into our soul and really have the experience. So this is something we haven't done before that I'm really excited about, because these are all powerful.
Too much noise. Can you talk louder, please?
Yes. Yes, David, thank you.
Come sit up, Brad.
Okay, so what I'm sharing is we are going to continue to receive lots of information, but we're going to receive it from our soul and our being and the experience. This is going to be a prayer, an activation, and transmission, and we're all involved. This is a co-creation. But we're going to receive from our hearts, from our souls, and really experience. Because the ascension is not just getting information in the head, it is an experience. So we'll start with Viviane. She does this all the time. She brings in her galactic family. And then we'll go to Asil. He does this all the time, bringing in the high vibrations, setting the field. And then we'll go down to Shekinah Ma and Sanandaji. This is what they do, bringing in the higher field information to come through. Maureen, and then Ishmael, whatever you want to contribute, and then Sarah. And we'll see what we experience and co-create together. So I want to invite everyone to just come into your being. Take a big breath. Get out of your head. Feel your heart. Feel your feet on the ground. Get into your soul, into your being. There's a request to turn some of the lights down. We can do that. One over there.
It's illuminating you.
And allow yourself to really open up on a whole other level. Open up your receiving channels. Open up your spirit. Open up your heart. Open up and connect. And Viviane.
Yes, deep breath. We lovingly recommend keeping your feet uncrossed. There's no need to protect yourself. You are in the field of pure love, accepted. We see you, we welcome you. But today, let us begin by taking several deep, cleansing breaths, breathing from the depth of your being to feel that you're opening your lungs, welcoming the flow of life force synergy to turn into oxygen, to activate the inner chi within your bloodstream, and to really feel how much your body is receiving this universal flow of life force energy coming through your spine, expanding into all your nervous system, the sacred gateways of light, and to already establishing a more conscious connection with your body, to feel your lungs honoring the breath of life in you and as you. And to feel this breath of life expanding all the way down to your feet, expanding the energetic grids of your feet, connecting with the Mother Gaia's grid system, the body of Gaia, her ley lines, to feel the pulse of Mother Terra, and to welcoming this sacred exchange of life force energy from the ley lines of Gaia with the universal flow, and to know how much you are nurtured, nourished, protected, and empowered. And from there, many of us have joined together, many from the Andromedan, the Arcturians, the Lyrans, our beloved Syrians, and the presence also of Masters of Light. We're going to begin now through the holographic field to bring in gentle transmission from the great central sun to come and feed the new cellular structure in your body and the resonance field of your cells to receive the grace, opening the gentle transmission directly from the great central sun, and to feel that you're receiving this transmission with so much love and appreciation for you. You are the emissaries who come from all corners of the universe and this multiverse. And this gentle great central sun transmission is designed to help you as a positive catalyst of evolution, to supporting you on your sacred life path from where you are right now in your current state of consciousness. And you feel the warmth in your heart, the activation of sacred threefold flame within your heart, to bring the life force of the great central sun in your DNA, in the quantum field of your DNA, to activate more and more sentient memories and knowledge, to feel truly empowered even in the crystalline core of your being that we call your will center, right in the center of your solar plexus. And to know that we are always with you. There's such a multitude of enlightened beings in group consciousness. You are one of us and we are one of you. We're simply here to supporting you in returning into your consciousness, your divine state. So let's just keep reading into the great central sun transmission in the presence of so many of us, including our beloved star, Arcturus. And now we hold a space as the next powerful teacher comes through.
In this moment, you witness life in an expanded state of consciousness. You're one individualized being, yet an aspect and expression of the collective, unified as a human consciousness collective. Yet through your individualized experience, your unique view on life, on every moment you have, the collective learns and evolves. So do you, as an individualized soul container, as an individualized expression of humanity, you evolve as well. And in moments like these, in moments of silence and presence, a new alignment emerges from within you. The ability to observe yourself and life leads to having realizations and completions of the cycles of the past, so that a new future, an expanded future of many and infinite possibilities can unfold. You are that conscious creator in becoming aware of its existing power, of the seed within you, of the energy of creation coming through you to create entire worlds and civilizations of your own. Thank you.
Take a deep breath into the center of your heart. And exhale, softening into this moment, melting your mind into this moment. Breathe in and out. Oxygenating your blood, your brain, bringing life force back into your holy temple. Breathing in and breathing out. And keep breathing rhythmically, breathing in, creating coherence in the field. Chant the sacred names that come through your heart. Keep breathing deep into your heart, filling yourself with life force. Opening your heart even wider, opening your fields, calling in the highest coherency. Allow the energy to move through, up through you, down through, open wider, deep breath. And still yourself to receive.
The sacred power, the quiet presence, the stilling moment opens up the doors and the gateways of the reality that is awaiting you. Through this reality, the light begins to get brighter and brighter, illuminating the path before you. As you merge with this path, experience the quickening of your cells, feeling the vibrations start to frequate higher as we all send and transmit to you now, open wider than you've ever opened before, giving more trust, more faith, more belief than you've ever had before. Open, for now is your miracle that you've been asking for and waiting for. Quickening the light within you, radiating from the center core of your heart, stronger and stronger, vibrating faster and faster, quickening, for the highest vibrations and the highest timeline reality is the match to that quickening. Feel the frequency within you rising, gently allowing with great divinity the unfoldment of your greater self deep inside of you. Receive, receive, receive now.
Take this moment as you've activated your connection to the Elohim to now clearly intend that you are opening your pranic tube, and we will chant the El Kalim Om. El Kalim Om. Let this energy move through you and open up and widen your pranic tube. Again. Kalim Om. Now see your pranic tube filled with incredible distillation of unconditional love and light. Invite the Hathors to overshadow you with their unconditional love and light, that you might also emanate unconditional love and light. Thank you.
Now, together as a collective, let's invite the Holy Council of Light, which is the Council of One. Let's invite them by opening up our hearts with deep gratitude for the breath of life. And let's integrate and anchor in the highest light, the highest vibrational frequency through our chakra systems. Let's all collectively visualize it. Christ's higher self into embodiment, to activate the 144,000 who are on this planet at this time. The Oversouls, which is our Holy Christ higher self, we welcome you. And we begin immersion process. And while we're doing so, let's visualize an event in our lifetime. Activate. Flooding every fiber of our being with pure light, which is love. Christ frequency. Flooding every fiber of our being, all trillions of cells, illuminated by this light. And now, collectively, utilize this belief system to activate the Christ consciousness for the return of the Christ through us.
So just sink deeper into yourself with every breath that you take and every beat of your heart. Just allow a wave of deep relaxation to just flow from the top of your head all the way down through your body, relaxing your body. Breathing deeply and fully, exhaling any tensions, any worries, and any thoughts. Just let everything go. And just pick a spot on the top of your head. And that spot is pure, deep relaxation. And now feel this spot growing bigger and expanding and just flowing down through your body. Let your body sink even deeper into this beautiful state of peace and serenity. Just sink even deeper, relax. And imagine or visualize yourself walking into a beautiful garden. This garden is a beautiful, safe haven for you. As you look around at all the colors of the flowers and the plants, the colors can radiate a healing quality to them. And just take in a deep breath and breathe in all these beautiful fragrances. It's so beautiful and peaceful in this sacred healing garden. And now imagine or visualize a beautiful light above your head. You can choose a color or colors, but this is an activating and healing and loving, very powerful spiritual light. Feel this light enter through the top of your head, illuminating your brain and spinal cord, and sending love and healing to these organs. And feel this beautiful healing and loving light just flow down through your body, flooding your body with love and healing. Let this light be very strong as it floods your body with this healing. And feel your body imagine or visualize the light coming into your heart, activating and healing your heart at all levels, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Feel your heart healing. Now feel your heart gently pumping this love through your whole body, flooding your body with this love, this healing. Feel your body responding and feel this beautiful, loving light surround the outside of your body now, wrapping you in a beautiful cocoon of love and light. Now imagine or visualize your whole ancestral line in front of you. Everyone or everything that has ever come before you, imagine them in front of you. And imagine you can flood them with this healing and loving light and watch them respond as you flood them with this healing. And allow them to send messages to you. Are there any abilities that are carried within your family line? How do they feel about you doing this now? Now imagine or visualize every generation that will come after you and flood them with this light. And now feel all your generations to come and all the ancestors before flooding you with this light, sending you love and gratitude. And now from the center of your heart, flood this entire room with light and unconditional love, and feel it returning to the center of your heart. And now flooding the universe, every soul with this love. And now feel it all come back to you. Thanking you, appreciating you, and sending you love, unconditional love, and gratitude for you hearing the call at this time. Thank you.
And Vivian, can you close the sacred space?
Now see and feel that you are calling in all of your energy back to your body, reintegrating gently what serves you the most, with higher discernment, the clarity of the mind, and the strengthening of your heart. Just gently see and feel that you are returning to the body in full consciousness, integrated, and yet grounded to Mother Gaia, into your body, and to feel that all aspects of you have returned now, cleansed and purified, elevated to inspire you to become more and more the sacred embodiment of your full divine potential in all dimensions of your life, throughout space and time, and throughout infinity. So let's take a deep grounding breath through your heart and release. One more time, deep breath in And release. And now gently in 3, 2, and 1, we invite you to open your eyes. Return, return, return. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I invite you to pursue studying with these incredible teachers, because part of the gift is these incredible luminaries have come here to share. They all have bodies of work. You can locate them online. Maureen St. Germain. Let's applaud everyone. And the Twin Ray, Janandaji, and Asil, Vivian Chavez, Ishmael Perez, Sarah Brexman Cosme. Check them out on YouTube, online. I also have a gift for you, Ascension Tips, which you can download, ascensionnow.org. It's on your seat. It's the outline to the Ascension. It's really simple to have. And I will see you again on your journey, the Ascension journey. Thank you so much, everyone.